Hi guys, welcome to the third installment of the Vontolken Diaries. I am coming to you from a house sit that I'm doing in Sydney. I'm not in Perth, as I said I would be last week. I was in Perth for a week, but ran out of time and just wanted to really focus on spending time with the family and having a bit of a relax because the next few months with the setup and the first little bit of the website and everything is going to be really hectic. So I thought, give yourself a week where you don't have to do much and you eat way too much, and then you can really kick it into high gear when you get back, which I am doing. It went really well though. Although I say I didn't do much work on the website, I did do work with my parents on my study. So I'm studying a couple of things, but one of the things I'm studying is to be a PT, a personal trainer. And so I did a case study with my parents, just giving them a program and filming myself training them because I have to do it to pass the first part of the course. And that went really well. And the reason why I am also studying to be PT is not only interest, and I've always loved fitness and all that type of thing, but also I'm going to have a wellness section in my on my website, which is going to incorporate the things that I've learnt through my degree and also I've learnt throughout my life, and just having a qualification to back it up is really, I think, really important. It will then flow on to potentially another website just based on fitness and that type of thing, but that's a little while down the track, so I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself. So that went really well. Like, I killed my parents a little bit and they're very sore. They were very sore afterwards, and I'm going to go back later in the year and make sure they're keeping it all up. But yeah, it went really well. And on the acting side of things, I had audition that I had to do while I was in Perth. I had to do a self-tape for like the city of North Sydney. It's like a pedestrian safety lip sync parody music video thing. And it went really well. I actually got the job, so that's really nice. We shoot that in like 2 weeks from like, oh god, oh, that was a nose of one of the dogs brushing against my leg. I shoot that in 2 weeks, which is really great, and I'm really excited because it's nice to have a couple of jobs in the works. I also had a couple of auditions this week, which went really well. So yeah, everything's going nicely. It's all chugging along. While I was in Perth, though, I was reminded of something that I used to give into a lot that, once again, did not help me to achieve my dreams. And that was jealousy. I wasn't actually, I had planned to do this video on something different, which I think I will do now next week. But jealousy came up while I was in Perth that made me really think about it, and I thought, I'm just going to go with it and tell you guys about it. So the jealousy that came up in Perth was really simple, and it wasn't anything major or anything like that. It was just literally, I love tennis. I was watching Wimbledon. Serena Williams was in the final, and if she won, which she didn't, unfortunately, or I don't actually mind, she would have equaled Margaret Court's record. And there was a large part of me that didn't want her to win, because what I thought initially, what I always told myself was, oh, I don't want her to beat Margaret Court's record because Margaret Court's Australian, I'm Australian, blah, blah, blah. I actually thought about it, and I was like, I don't actually care about Margaret Court's record. I just don't. So what is it that I'm really thinking and feeling? And it was literally just, I was jealous because she's done so well in this sport that I love. It's the one sport that I really feel an affinity towards with, or two. And I was jealous. I don't think, when I was younger, I thought I wanted to do tennis more seriously, but I didn't get an opportunity to. And I always thought, well, maybe it could have led to something, because I really did feel like it was instinctive in me to play. It was the one sport that I just loved. But thinking about it, really, I would have always given that up and gone towards the acting thing. The acting is really, and that all this type of thing is really my passion. So it doesn't really, it wouldn't have really mattered, I don't think. But still, I still felt that pang. And when I stopped and thought about it, I was like, that's really interesting, because I think jealousy is a really negative emotion, and I think most people do, I suppose. But it really played havoc with me when I was younger because like I've said in the previous episode, and I'll get into more, I had very little self-esteem, and because of that, if people achieved things that I was not achieving, especially if I knew them, actually, and really, really, it was worse if I knew them, then I would feel really jealous and really down on myself and get really moody and kind of angry. And a friend of mine, who, one of my best friends in the whole world, who I used to spend a lot of time at her house with her family, she would experience it, especially around the time when we were doing auditions to get into music theatre. And I did the certificate, which was a year course, and then auditioned for the 3-year course, which I didn't get into, and I auditioned a few times. But people I knew who studied with the same singing teacher I studied got in, and I remember getting really like quiet and aggressive and angry and really uncalled for. Like, it just was so much about how down on myself I was rather than who they were and their achievements, I suppose. And so even though it was a little thing, this Serena Williams thing, it really made me think about how far I've come and how much that has changed and how futile being jealous of other people is, because you're always looking at what other people are doing, what other people are achieving, rather than looking at what you're achieving yourself. And that also adds in to what I was talking about last week, in that I spent so much energy sometimes looking at what other people are doing and getting jealous of them and why haven't I achieved and they're doing better than I am and I want to do well, that I put, again, less time and effort into actually doing the work that would help me achieve things. So when you think about what I was talking about last week about how I relied on God and things and became lazy, and the belief that I was going to be taken care of no matter what, I just all added to my laziness and all added to my kind of well, honestly, it all added to it was all part of my, again, fear that I was not going to achieve what I wanted to achieve, even if I put the effort in. So, I mean, it was just really, really, like I say, futile to behave that way. And so now I look at myself now and I go, I never get jealous. I never got jealous in relationships. I just got jealous when it came to achievements, because I knew that deep within me, I wanted to achieve things. And so now I look at that and I go, okay, well, what that is telling you is that you have this drive. There is the drive in there. And if you keep on trying to push it down and suppress it, it's going to come out in those negative ways, like being jealous of other people or like being judgmental of other people and all that type of thing. So you need to understand that if you start to feel that pain, then you've got to work at something in order to focus on yourself and not feel jealous, because you will have everything you need and you'll be giving everything you need to yourself. That felt like a long ramble, and I don't know how much it made sense, but I hope it made sense to you. To sum it up, I think jealousy is futile. I'm no longer a jealous person, and it's so much better for me. I focus on what I'm doing, not what other people are doing, in order to really get the most out of life and enjoy life as much as I can. Again, I hope that made sense. Sorry for the long ramble. I will be back again next week from my own abode, and I hope you are all doing well. Like I said, like last week, if you have any sort of thoughts or feelings on this, drop me a line in any which way you can. I'd love to hear from anyone. I always like to talk about things with people, deep things with people, so I would appreciate any sort of communication. I hope you're well. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you early next week. Bye.